Today's exploration of this interplay between freedom and discipline centers around a restorative practice. This is a nice practice to do on the weekend, and I think as active practitioners moving through a powerful practice, it's important to have a counter practice to this. So this is a quickie restorative. It's not a full hour or anything like that, but you'll get a chance to feel into how you can soften into these structures and notice parts of your body, notice parts of yourself that become available to your attention when you're not striving and straining and moving in such a powerful way. So I have basically every prop I have. Grab what you've got. I have a bolster. You might have 2 pillows. Grab firm ones if you're using pillows. I have a blanket. You could grab a bath towel. I have 2 yoga blocks and a strap. Hopefully you have those. I have a sandbag, but this is optional. So it could be like a 5-pound bag of rice. It could be your kid's backpack with some heavy books in it. But if you have a yoga sandbag or you want to make one, they're great. So I'd recommend it. And we're going to set up in a supported Setu Bandhasana to begin, a little inversion. I like to start restorative practices with inversions because it sort of feels like entering through a temple door. It's like a way of reorienting our mindset into this kind of mode of deliberate stillness and kind of reorients our way of being. So you'll have one block on a middle height right up against a wall, and the feet will go on the wall, the heels will go on the block. And you're going to sit yourself on the middle of a bolster with a rolled up blanket behind it, which will go under the top of your shoulders. Your head will be flat on the ground. It's a bit of trial and error, kind of approximating and then adjusting, so you might have to come up and down a few times, and that's fine. You want to really set up in a perfect place so that you can settle in and feel the support beneath you. The setup is key with these poses because it creates the alignment of your body. So I'm bringing a strap around my thighs so that they are hips width and I don't have to strain to keep them together. The second block is below my knees. It's under my calves. I'm sitting somewhere in the middle of the 2 pillows or the bolster, if you have a nice thick bolster. And then I'm going to lie down, tucking my tailbone towards my heels as I go. And you want the bolster to be right up at the bra line. So I'm going to scooch mine forward just a little bit so that the upper back can pour off of it. And then the blanket fills in that gap, like right up to that knobby vertebra, right at the base of your neck. And then you can kind of scooch in. You want to make sure your feet make contact with the wall. That contact is very grounding. If you have a sandbag like I do or a bag of rice, you can put that over your thighs, like right over your lap, to kind of ground your femurs back and down. Or have your dog come sit on your lap. And then close your eyes. Settle in. After holding yourself up and holding it all together, allow yourself to be held. So let your attention scroll through the whole body and notice where you can soften and spread. Where can you relax into the contact beneath you and allow yourself to be held by the floor and the props. You can stay here, or if you'd like, bring your arms into a cactus shape. Many options. They're all invitations. You do what works best. And the arms would be above the blanket if they're in a cactus. Relax the muscles in the hips, the buttocks, the pelvis, around the thighs. Plug into your sacrum. Plug into the base of the skull, the back of the head. And let your breath just kind of meander, slow pace, up under your collarbones. It's like when you're taking a Sunday stroll and there's nowhere to go. You're just sort of exploring, going at your own pace, taking in the colors and the smells and the sights. Let your breath just kind of meander without forcing from the bottom of the lungs to the top, from the front to the back. So there's a sense of receiving the breath rather than forcing it. And you savor it as it slows down. Savor this sweet, subtle stretch between each pair of rib bones, the intercostal tissue, simply by bringing your loving attention to your breath. A lot of these practices that I'm sharing in this challenge are activating. They're calling you to the surface. They're a call if you've been a couch potato, if you've been feeling yourself withdrawn or running cool. They're a call to stoke your fire, to rise to your surface. And so this practice is a counterpose to all of that. It's an invitation to rest back into your depths, sink down deep below the surface, below the speed of your life that may be held in the tissues of your body, and hunker in. Sometimes practices help us get off our butts, whip us up, ignite our inner spark. Sometimes practices are designed to anchor us to the earth, to soothe and settle our nervous systems, to bring our attention to downshift. Last arm variation if you'd like it. Hook your thumbs like a butterfly over your head and send your fingertips back. Press the feet into the wall. Feel the gentle stretch under your diaphragm, underside of your rib cage. And then from here, release. You can move the sandbag if you've got it. Just let it fall to the side. Unclip your strap. Bring your feet on either side of the blocks. And roll off to one side. One arm overhead, roll to that side so your head can rest on your arm like a pillow. And then use your hands to come on up. So for this next one, all you'll need is a bolster. Spinal twist. We're going to twist right first and then left because this works with the direction of peristalsis, the action of our digestion, squeezing up the right and then down the left. All right, so twist right first. That means you're sitting with the bolster to the right side of you, kneeling. And then you'll sit onto your right hip and frame the bolster with either hand. From here, you're going to inhale and lengthen, and then exhale like a inchworm undulates. Undulate your spine, so you're walking with no hands, simply by waving your heart forward and across the bolster. So there's three options. Simplest is arms cactus, right cheek to the bolster. Notice that my knees are not stacked. I'm letting them rest offset. The second variation is tucking the chin and bringing the forehead to the bolster. And the more intense twist is hugging the bolster with your left arm and resting your left cheek on it. Press down into the palm of your right hand so that your elbow's over your wrist, and breathe. As you inhale, feel your right lung lift. As you exhale, feel your left lung and your left back ribs roll, sigh, fall down towards the bolster.
slow down and receive the fullness of your breath. Let your breath be an ally, like wind in a sail, to coast into this rotation. Each breath pulling you in. Now plant your left hand, lift halfway up. Like the inchworm undulates, walk your spine forward, lengthen belly, ribs. Same exact side, same twist, chest, but you'll grow so much taller. It's incredible. Chest, head, just that undulation, that unfurling of the spine. Rest your left cheek to the bolster for the more intense twist, forehead, chin tucked, or your right cheek. Simple cactus arms. The amazing thing about twists is that the more we rotate and wring ourselves out, it's this incredible tonic for the nervous system. It's like a way to release some of the tension that builds around the spinal nerves, the paraspinal muscles, the center of the body, the backbone. Slow, steady, rinsing the breath through the length of your spine. One more here. Amazing. Use your hands to come on back up, and you're just going to pause in Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose, a kneeling posture for a moment with your eyes closed, and observe the difference between the two sides of your body. And then we'll do this to the other side. So you can either move your bolster to your left side. I'm just going to turn around so the bolster is off to my left hip. And then I'm going to sit onto my left side and turn towards the left. And then lengthen forward, lengthen forward, lengthen forward. And simplest cactus arms, left cheek on it. Tuck the chin, forehead on it. Or hug it with your right arm and press into your left palm and twist. As you inhale, feel the axial length of space decongesting, unclogging, elongating from your tailbone to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, feel the right ribs roll down, sigh down, spill down into the bolster. Effortless, breath guided, releasing into rotation. I have an older client with scoliosis who's lost a bit of height as she's aging and the spine is degenerating a little bit with her curvature. But after twists, she has to adjust her rear view mirror of her car because she sits so much taller. She reclaims her posture and her length. These twists are incredible. So let's feel into our length. Bring your palms on either side of it. Lift halfway up. Like the little inchworm lengthens and walks with no hands. Undulate belly. Pull your ribs forward, chest, and then head. You could do your cactus arms, left cheek on the bolster, chin tucked, forehead on it, or hug it with your right arm, right cheek on it. Rinse and repeat, breath by breath. Restoring, restoring, restoring each breath, one at a time. All right, let's come on back up. And this time, rather than sitting in Vajrasana, we'll go right on into our next shape now that we're even. So you can place your two pillows or your bolster, two stacked if you're using pillows, lengthwise the other way. So you're gonna lean over it. I'm gonna get up pretty close into it. In fact, I'm gonna give myself a little more height. If you have blocks, put them under your bolster. That's better. So you want to get your hip right in line with the pillows or the bolster, and then draw the curve of your waist around it. And you're gonna reach your right arm. So I'm on my right ribs, right arm out. Rest your head on your right arm. Reach your left arm over your head and grab somewhere below your elbow. Could be your wrist, could be your forearm. And we'll start here for a couple breaths. So you're compressing the right ribs and you're expanding your left ribs. And you might see if you can get your left fingertips to plug in. Now, from here, keep your right leg where it is. Draw your left toes back until you can bring the left knee into the arch of your right foot. Now, keep stacking your shoulders so that your left shoulder doesn't roll open to the ceiling. You're facing the sidewall. And imagine like your hips just got a little more bottom heavy, like you have a scuba diver belt around your hips. Let them sink. You can close your eyes and take a few more deep, restful breaths into the left ribs. You might feel this clear down to your left psoas. You can even bring your knee further back, bring your foot back with it if you want to invite some sensation down to the front of your left hip. So perhaps now your left knee, hip, shoulder, and wrist are in one line. And you might start to feel that right in the front of your left side of your belly and hip. Yeah. Last breath. Side 2. So you can just roll on up and turn around, do-si-do. And you want to start with your left hip level with the pillow or the bolster. Lift up and pour the curve of your waist into that contour. Reach your left arm overhead, so I'm on my left side here. And then cradle your head on your arm, grab below your elbow, somewhere on the forearm or the wrist, and see if you can plug your fingertips down. And you might right off the bat notice that one side is tighter. That's not uncommon. If you cross your legs one way, if you carry a baby on one hip, if you have your foot on the gas pedal all the time, if you have scoliosis, imbalance in your spine. So from here, invitation, if you want to go on, is to reach your right foot back behind you and plug your right knee into the arch of your left foot. It kind of holds it in space. And then imagine your hips get bottom heavy, like you have a scuba diver's belt on. And they just kind of drape over the bolster. And can you plug your right fingertips down into the ground? And breathe up into the right side of your rib cage, right lung, right side of the diaphragm. And you might move that right knee back. Oh yeah, that's the spot. Feeling into that right quadrant of your belly, right psoas. Take a few more nice, easy, spacious breaths right here. Last breath. All right. Come on up. Final pose is a little compression for the abdomen. So this can get a little intense. Move these guys out of the way. All you need is a blanket or a beach towel. Best done on an empty stomach and should not be done if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant. So I'm going to open up my blanket. So it's this big. This big. And then I'm going to fold it into a trifold. So it's like a long skinny strip. And then I'm going to grab the short edge and just start to roll it like a burrito, nice and tidy. And that's going to go right into my belly. So since you have a bolster, if you want, you could, or a pillow, you could put that under your ankles and your feet. And we're going to compress the gut. So we've done this earlier in one of our core work practices. Travel into the center of the core. So you want to get that roll above your pubic bone but below your ribs. And you're going to start with your elbows on the ground. Let your knees drop down and get heavy. Kind of shimmy side to side to drop in and bring your brow bone to your heel of your hands. And you want to start by working with your breath and see if you can relax into the compression and the contact of the roll. Drop in, drop in, drop in. And then if you'd like, you can bring your palms one on top of the other right under your forehead. And you'll feel your breath start to deepen and spread out across your lower back. This can be great for bloating, for decompressing from some of the stress that we carry in the gut. The restorative practice is all about moving into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest mode. And sometimes when we're rushing through life, we don't have time to digest fully, whether it's the food we're eating or the experiences we're moving through. And so this practice of slowing down and finding stillness gives us space to digest better, to settle into the depths of ourselves more fully. From here, lower your forehead to the mat, bring your hands at eyebrow height, palms flat, elbows up, and just roll, push into your right hand to the left. You'll feel the blanket dig into your left obliques, left psoas, and then roll to your right, push into your left hand. So you're giving your guts a little massage. You can go nice and slow and just really sink in. One more breath. Good. And then to come out of it, you can just kick your pillow, your bolster out of the way. Find your way up to all fours. And then take a seat. And there's really a magic in coming out of this pose. You'll feel the movement of prana, blood flow, chi down to the low belly and the pelvis. In chi practice, this is called the dantian. And so we're having this kind of descent of energy and awareness down to the hips and the low belly. And so as you move through the rest of your day, can you maintain this dropping down into the dantian, into the low belly? Take both hands to your low belly. And take just one full breath to seal it down to your belly, down to your hands as you inhale. And as you exhale, hug your navel towards your spine. Blink your eyes open and move into your day with clear, calm, and focused energy.